Good afternoon to all the EAPCET aspirants. This is your Prasanna Ma'am from NEET WORLD. So yes, in our previous session, we have dealt with that short chapter, that is Science of Plants Botany, which is purely memory based, where we can expect one question for sure in your EAPCET 2026. So based on our previous class, let us solve the EAPCET previous year questions, and then we will move on to the chapter Morphology of Flowering Plants, which is very sure, very important. Definitely you will be getting 3 questions in your EAPCET 2026. So yes, let's get started beta. First question is multi-statement based question, wherein we need to choose the right option, okay, right correct statements, the combination of correct statements we need to observe. Like fossil plants, Pongamia produce petrol due to the presence of hydrocarbons, true. Chlorella is a single cell protein. Chlorella and spirulina both are single cell proteins which are used as food supplements by astronauts. And branch of botany that deals with the study of different tissues and internal details of the plant organ is morphology. Internal details of the plant organ is learned under what ma? Anatomy, not morphology, right? Next, Azolla, Nostoc, Anabina help in recycling nutrients as biofertilizers. 3 of them, okay, Azolla, Nostoc, Anabina, they are the best nitrogen fixing agents which are used in recycling the nutrients. Yes, right? So 1, 2 and 4, these are the correct combination of statements, option B. Next question, which is match the following type of question, which has a mix of discoveries, medicinal plants, classification and hydrocolloids. Look into that carefully. First is about the scientist Plato. His contribution is in development of botany as science. Next, agar, which is used as a hydrocolloid, this is an inert polysaccharide. So B we can consider it as, A we can consider it as 1, B we can consider it under the option of 4. Next, Arnica and Withania, these are what? Medicinal plants. Arnica and Withania are medicinal plants. And Bissey, he has contributed under what classification? Phylogenetic classification. So what is the correct combination ma? A is 1, B will be 4, C is 2 and D is 3. Option D will be the right answer. Next question you look into, match the following type. First is what? This is based on the green plantations, biofertilizers, bioremediation and about seaweeds. Look into that carefully and match. Whoever is answering, you please drop your answer in the comment section ma, whether it is right or wrong, no problem at all. We will learn together, okay. So bioremediation, what is bioremediation? Which controls the soil pollution, okay. Bioremediation controls the soil pollution, and intense green plantations will control global warming and greenhouse gases effect. And biofertilizers will play a major role in controlling or preventing chemical pollution. Seaweeds are the best sources of iodine, they are rich in iodine. Now mark the combinations properly beta. A is 2, B will be 4, C is 3 and D is 1. So option A will be the right answer over here. Next question. Yeah, look at here, the study of amphibians of plant kingdom. Amphibians of plant kingdom are what? Bryophytes. Bryophytes are the amphibians of plant kingdom. Okay, so bryophytes we will learn it under bryology. And then assertion and reason type of questions. In assertion, Socrates, Plato and Aristotle were responsible for development of botany into a science. True, they are regarded as father of botany is wrong. Who is regarded as father of botany ma? Theophrastus. Okay, Theophrastus is regarded as father of botany. A is true and R is false. And then next question, choose the correct set of statements. Assyrians recorded information of crop plants into a picture form, correct. Nimagru studied the anatomy of plant tissue, true. Bowskin refers to cattle feed, not cattle, okay, it refers to cattle feed. And then application of physical and chemical principles developed new branches of botany like genetics. No, it hasn't developed new branches like genetics, it has developed new branches like biophysical biophysical and biochemistry, bioinformatics as such. Okay, it is not it hasn't developed genetics. These domains of biology were developed. So what are the right combinations here ma? A and B are the correct set of options, option A. Next question you look into, yeah, arrange the discoveries in ascending chronological order. We need to arrange them in ascending chronological order based on the time periods. When you have to look into, the very first thing that is done is what? Description of, first thing is what? Description and identification of plants, and before that book on agriculture and weed. Okay, book on agriculture and weed around 3000 to 1500 BC. Okay, in Atharvan Veda might be by Parasara book, and the books which are written by Egyptians, those were completely dealing about what? Books on agriculture and weeds. And later after that, description and identification of plants, that is F. After this, books on description and identification of plants is done by whom? Theophrastus around 300 BC. Okay. And later about discovery of the cell, dead cell by Robert Hooke. Robert Hooke has discovered dead cell after this. So first it is D and then F and then B. After discovery of the dead cell, laws of inheritance were proposed by Mendel, Gregor John Mendel in around 19th century, that is C. After this, discovery of citric acid cycle by Hans Krebs, that is A, and later the latest discoveries is about discovery of genetic nature of RNA. Under RNA world we will learn it more clearly. So this is E. So it is A, F, B, C, A, E. A, F, B, C, A, E, that is option B. Clear, right ma? So there is no compulsion on remembering the years exactly, but you have to know the sequence of discoveries, sequence of development in biology. Okay, if you know that sequence, you can easily arrange this in chronological order. And next question ma, assertion reason type of question, where under assertion Carolus van Linnaeus popularized the binomial system of nomenclature and proposed a sexual system of classification or artificial system of classification. That is true. Sexual reproduction in plants was discovered by Camerarius. This is also correct. But then nowhere reason is a correct explanation of assertion. In this case, what is the right option? We need to choose option B. A and R are true, but reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. And next question you look into beta, match the following type of question asked in the year 2020. Look into that carefully and answer. Camerarius, in the previous question only it is asked, he has contributed in what? Sexual reproduction of plants. So A we can consider option 3. Hales, he has played a major role in conduction of water through xylem, that is B is 1. Father of botany is Theophrastus, and the book he has published is Historia Plantarum, that is option 4. Bessay played a major role in giving us the phylogenetic system of classification, that is option 2. So A is 3, B 1, C 4 and D 2. Option B will be the right answer. Next question. Again match the following type of question. This is purely on discoveries, purely on discoveries. No question has escaped from the concept we have discussed yesterday. If that 10 slides are in your mind, you can answer any type of question that is produced here. So look at here ma, Ramanujan, C.G.K. Ramanujan. What was the discoveries from him? Palynology is the concept that is given by him, that is A is option 2. Okay, Sutton and Bovary we know, chromosomal theory of inheritance. Sutton and Bovary, what did they do? They united the laws of principles or Mendelian's principles with chromosomal segregation and produced us chromosomal theory of inheritance. So B will be option 5. A is 2, B is 5, C. Theophrastus. Theophrastus has given us what? D. Historia Plantarum. Historia Plantarum, D. Historia Plantarum. Books that are published by him. So C is option 1. Carolus von Linnaeus has produced what? Sexual system of classification or artificial system of classification. So here A is 2 and B is 5, C will be 1 and D is 3. Option B is the right answer. Next question ma? Yeah, members of Phaeophyceae possess what? Members of Phaeophyceae will possess what? Gelatinous coating of algin. Yes, algin is the hydrocolloid here, hydrocolloid. Okay, and then unequal and lateral flagella. Yes, unequal and lateral flagella are present here in the zoospores of Phaeophycean members. Pyrenoids are not present in the Phaeophycean members. Pyrenoids are the storage bodies which are present in the chloroplast of green algal members, not brown algae. Okay. And then phycobilisomes, phycobilisomes or phycobilins, phycoerythrins, they are present in red algae. Fine, right ma? So here what are the right answers? What are the right options? 1 and 2, and the right option is option B. Okay. Next question. Yeah. So the following plants are associated with human health and biodiesel production. Human health, medicinal plant under this is what? Digitalis, and biodiesel or petroplants. What are they? Jatropha, Pongamia, these are what? Petroplants. So here the right option is option D. Clear, right ma? Next question. Yeah, with this the questionnaire from Science of Botany or Science of Plants are done. So every year if you see in a EAPCET paper, one question has come from this chapter, which is purely memory based. Just you revise the concepts and revise the discoveries, development sequences in detail, you can answer the questions. Okay. Now we are moving on to Morphology of Flowering Plants, which is very important chapter. So under Morphology of Flowering Plants, this chapter seems to be very huge by most of the students, but if you fragment it into parts, then you can learn it in detail. So here how can you learn Morphology of Flowering Plants? So you can learn it under 3 headings beta. 3 headings. First one is vegetative characters. Vegetative characters, wherein you have to cover up root, stem and leaf. Root, stem and leaf. Their structural descriptions, modifications and examples. That's it. I will give you the complete flow charts of this where you can revise it very easily. Okay, root, stem and leaf. And then second most important segment, where every year definitely from this area you will get a question, even in EAPCET and in NEET exam. So what is that? Okay, floral characteristics. Floral characteristics. Floral characters which includes what? Flower. Flower, first thing, the classification of flower based on symmetry. Based on symmetry, you will have 3 types of flowers: asymmetric, actinomorphic and zygomorphic flower, and based on the position of ovary with other floral parts. Position of ovary with other floral parts, you have 3 types of flowers. Again, hypogynous, perigynous and epigynous. And after this, you will be going through placentation, especially andrecium cohesion and adhesion, andrecium cohesion and adhesion, and then you will look into aestivation and all the whorls of the flower, both essential and non-essential whorls. So from these aspects, definitely there will be a question from this chapter, from floral characteristics. After this, the third segment you have to look through is, third segment is families ma. Okay, third is families. What are the families that you have to cover? Just 3 families. In NEET though you have 5 families based on the latest NEET 2025 syllabus, but here in your EAPCET 3 families are enough. First is what? Yeah. First is Fabaceae, second will be Solanaceae and Liliaceae. These are the families that we have to look into. So, these families anyhow it is under the heading taxonomy of angiosperms, but here only we will finish it off. So, what are the three segments we have to go through now? First is vegetative characters, second will be floral characters, and third is morphology families, okay, where here you will be covering both vegetative and floral characters. Next you see parts of the flower. So, parts of the flowering plant, you have both vegetative and floral characters here. First is under root system. Under root system, you have root system. Three types of root systems are present: taproot, fibrous roots and adventitious roots. Here in this diagram, taproot system is provided, wherein main root with the lateral roots or secondary roots. And if you see shoot system you have shoot, that is stem, leaves, buds, flowers, and stem is with nodes and internodes. Clear, right? This is about root system and shoot system. Now first we will learn about root today, completely about root, its description, most importantly regions of the root and modifications of the root. Pay utmost attention and listen. Okay, how can you describe a root as and how root will grow? At the time of seed germination, okay, at the time of seed germination, what happens is, okay, at the time of seed germination, from the basal part, the first emerging portion is what is radicle. This radicle grows towards the ground, okay, radicle grows towards the ground, which is positively geotrophic. This is positively geotrophic, fine. Now, this root which is radical later develops to what? Root. Radical develops to root, fine. Radical which is positively geotrophic grows towards the ground. This matures to what? Root system. Remember that. So, how can you address root as? This is a cylindrical underground non-green part of the plant, okay, cylindrical underground and non-green part of the plant. This is the descending portion of the plant axis, which is positively geotrophic and negatively phototrophic, okay. This is positively geotrophic and negatively phototrophic. This lacks nodes, internodes, leaves and buds. No such structures are present over here, and endogenously this gives rise to lateral roots, okay. The primary root or the main root system, from the primary root, from pericycle region internally, from which region exactly the lateral roots will emerge? If that is your question, lateral roots emerge endogenously from pericycle, okay. Lateral roots will emerge endogenously from which region, they emerge endogenously from pericycle. Clear, right? Now, root system includes what? Main root plus lateral roots. Root system includes main root plus lateral roots, okay. So, this is a primary description. Here what you have to remember, there are no nodes, internodes, leaves and buds, and this is positively geotrophic, negatively phototrophic, and this is the basic description. How lateral roots are emerging from the main root? Lateral roots emerge from the pericycle region endogenously. This is the basic description that you have to remember. As we have discussed, how root is maturing out? This is from radical. From radical, the main root emerges out. So, on what basis root is classified? The basis of classification are always important, beta. Based on the origin and structure of the root. Based on the origin and structure of the root, roots are classified into taproot system, fibrous root system and adventitious root system. Adventitious root system, okay. So, first taproot system, wherein from the main root, lateral roots, as we have discussed, they arise endogenously from pericycle exactly. These lateral roots are also called as secondary roots. From the secondary roots, tertiary roots also will arise. Okay, so the taproot system is present in most of the dicotyledonous plants. Next, monocots, fibrous root system, wherein the main root or the primary root is short-lived. Okay, main root or the primary root is short-lived. Primary root is short-lived, and many roots will arise from the base of the stem. Okay, so here radical matures to primary root, but it is short-lived, and other roots will arise from the base of the plant, that is fibrous root system. This is observed in most of the monocots like grasses, monstera and banyan. Here you see adventitious root system. Adventitious root system also, this, what is the difference between fibrous and adventitious root system? Adventitious roots will arise from any part of the plant body. Adventitious roots arise from any part of plant body. Adventitious roots will arise from any part of the plant body, and there is no point of primary root, secondary root over here. This arises from any part of the plant body, and the best examples include grass, banyan and sweet potato. This is about taproot system, fibrous and adventitious root system. Clear right now? Next you observe what are the main functions of the root. The main functions of the root include absorption of water and minerals, storage of reserve food material. This provides proper anchorage to the plant parts, synthesis of plant growth regulators. Okay, so from root, these are the main functions that are happening. Just take a screenshot of this and memorize this carefully. After this, regions of root, very important. Regions of root, you can get statement based question or a match the following question from here. First we will learn from root cap to the maturation zone. Root cap is present at the apex. How can you describe root cap? Small cap or thimble like structure. Thimble like structure at apex region of the root. At apex region of the root, okay, or root apical region. Okay, at the apex region of root, small thimble like structure is root cap. Root cap cells are parenchymatous cells which are rich in Golgi bodies. They are rich in Golgi bodies because Golgi bodies will produce that mucilaginous structure which will enhance the positively geotrophic movement. This will enhance positively geotrophic movement. Take down ma. So root cap is clear, right? Next, proximal to the root cap region, region of meristematic activity is present. Proximal to the root cap region, what is present? Region of meristematic activity. Region of meristematic activity or root apical meristem is present over here, which is at the subapical region. Okay, subapical region. And how cells are present in the region of meristematic activity? The meristematic cells are present. Meristematic cells, all the properties of meristematic cells should be in your mind ma. Meristematic cells, where cells have thin cell wall, they are rich in protoplasm, and they have dense nucleus, invisible or very small vacuole, or vacuole is completely absent, small vacuole or vacuole is completely absent. There are no intercellular spaces, and the only activity of the meristematic cells which are present in region of meristematic activity is cell division. So, these meristematic cells are high in their respiration rate, okay, high respiration rate. They exhibit high respiration rate. Fine, right? Yeah. Next, region of elongation. In region of elongation, cells will increase in their length and size. Okay, cells elongate, you can say. Cells elongate in region of elongation. So, region of elongation is proximal to which region, ma? Region of meristematic activity. You have to remember which region is proximal to what and which region is distal to what. Proximal to root cap, you have region of meristematic activity. Proximal to the region of meristematic activity, you have region of elongation where cells elongate. Cells elongate and enlarge. Cells elongate and enlarge. Next, proximal to the region of elongation, you have region of maturation. Okay, proximal to the region of elongation, what do you have? Region of maturation, where in region of maturation, cells mature and differentiate. Cells mature and differentiate. Okay, cells mature and differentiate, wherein at this region of maturation, what arises? Root hairs arise. Root hairs arise at which region, if that is your question? In the region of maturation. Okay, so which is at the tip or at the highest region? Region of maturation, where cells mature and differentiate both structurally and physiologically. Okay, cells mature and differentiate both structurally and functionally or physiologically. Okay. Final round quickly in 2 minutes, wherein at the tip of the root, what is present, ma? Root cap. Root cap is thimble like structure which is present at the apex region. Here, what type of cells are present? Parenchymatous cells which are rich in Golgi bodies which aid in positive geotrophic movement. Next, proximal to the region of root cap, what is present? Region of meristematic activity, wherein at the region of meristematic activity, meristematic cells are present. Root apical meristem, meristematic cells are present. This is at the subapical region. Okay. So, what are the characteristic features of the meristematic cell? Characteristic features of meristematic cell include thin cell wall, rich in protoplasm, dense nucleus, small vacuole, and there are no intercellular spaces. As the only activity is continuous division, the respiration rate will be high in the region of meristematic activity. Next, to the proximal to the region of meristematic activity, you have region of elongation, where cells will elongate and enlarge. You have to make a keynote on which region is proximal to what and which region is distal to what. Distal to region of elongation, you have region of meristematic activity. Proximal to the region of elongation, you have region of maturation. In the region of maturation, cells will mature and differentiate both physiologically or functionally and structurally. Clear, right? And at the region of maturation, root hairs will arise. Clear, right, ma? Next, root modifications. We have many root modifications which are apart from the main functions of the root based on the adaptations of the plant. Apart from the main functions of the root, when other functions need to be performed, then root modifications occur both in the structure and in functioning. As such, we have for storage roots which are modified for the activity of storage. We have tap roots, fibrous roots and adventitious roots. Then root modification for mechanical support, root modification for photosynthesis, conducting photosynthesis. Roots are modified like epiphytes which get shelter on the other plants whose main function is absorption of moisture from atmosphere. And roots are modified for nitrogen fixation and for respiratory activity. These are the modifications. Keep this flow chart in your mind where we will be exercising each type of modification in detail, and at the end we will write down all the examples in one chart. Just take the screenshot of that chart and the thing will be completed for root modification for your exam. Okay, just one flow chart. You take the screenshot and everything will be in your hand. First, storage root modification. What are the tap roots that are modified for storage? Carrot, radish and turnip. Okay, carrot, radish and turnip. Carrot, radish and turnip. Okay, these are tap root modifications. Fibrous root modification, best example is what is asparagus. Okay, where all the roots, all the fibrous roots are modified for food storage. Next, adventitious root modification, best example, our daily example, that is sweet potato, which is known as Apomia botatus. Apomia, just a second. Apomia botatus. Okay, sweet potato. This is the example of adventitious root modification. And after this you have respiratory roots. Respiratory roots are also called as nematophores or breathing roots. Make a note of it, ma. Respiratory roots are also called as breathing roots or nematophores. Breathing roots or nematophores. These roots which arise positively phototrophic and negatively geotrophic. These roots are positively phototrophic and negatively geotrophic. These roots are positively phototrophic and negatively geotrophic. Fine, right? So, this is about respiratory roots, breathing roots and nematophores. They are positively phototrophic and negatively geotrophic. What is there, where do you find this type of roots? These type of roots are found in the halophilic regions, okay, in the halophytes, especially mangrove plants like Rhizophora and Avicennia. Okay, this type of roots are observed in halophytes, okay, like mangrove trees, mangroves. Best examples include Rhizophora and Avicennia. Fine, right? Next, this is about respiratory roots, which is a clear gist about this. Respiratory roots, also called as breathing roots or nematophores, they are positively phototrophic and negatively geotrophic. Their main function is what? Respiration or breathing. This type of roots are observed in halophytes, where in the oxygen deficient areas, okay, halophytes where oxygen deficient areas are there, where mangrove plants like Rhizophora and Avicennia has an adaptation where roots emerge above the soil, above that water, and they conduct breathing activity. And next type of roots are nodular roots, okay, nodular roots whose main activity is what, ma? Nitrogen fixation. Take down parallelly, their main activity is what? Nitrogen fixation. Nitrogen fixation is the main activity of nodular roots, where they fix nitrogen, especially in the symbiotic root. As this is a symbiotic root association. Best example is the Fabaceae members, where the bacterium, gram negative bacterium Rhizobium is associated with Fabacean members. Fabaceae members, Rhizobium is associated with Fabaceae members. Rhizobium is a gram negative bacteria. This is associated with the roots of Fabaceae members. Okay, these are nodular roots. Fine, right? Whose main activity is what, ma? Nitrogen fixation. Clear, right? Any doubt over here? Yeah. Next is velamen roots. Velamen roots are present over epiphytes. Where plants will grow on the branches of the other trees, whose main purpose is getting shelter, and those plants roots are called as what? Velamen roots. Okay, and these roots main function is what? These roots will absorb moisture from atmosphere. Moisture from atmosphere. Clear? Yeah. Next is photosynthetic roots, which are also called as chlorophyllous roots. Chlorophyllous roots, whose main function is conducting photosynthesis as they have chlorophyll. Okay, their main activity is what ma? Conduction of photosynthesis. Example, Cteniophyllum. Okay, and next, this is about photosynthetic roots, and next is prop roots or pillar roots. Prop roots are also called as pillar roots. These are adventitious roots. Okay, adventitious roots, wherein the roots arise from the branches of the plant, okay, and they grow positively geotrophic towards the ground. Their main activity is to promote or to give the mechanical support to the plant. Prop roots or pillar roots, they will grow positively geotrophic, whose main activity is what ma? Providing mechanical support to the plant. Providing mechanical support to the plant. Fine. Best example is banyan tree. Clear? And then stilt roots. Stilt roots are observed in monocots like sugarcane and maize, wherein roots arise from the lower nodes of the stem. Roots arise from where? From lower nodes of the stem. As such, they are again what? Adventitious roots only. Roots arise from lower nodes of stem. Roots arise from lower nodes of the stem. They are what? Stilt roots. Clear, right? Examples include sugarcane and maize, and their main activity is also what? Providing mechanical support. Next, last set of roots, those are hostorial roots. Hostorial roots are also said to be parasitic roots. Okay, hostorial roots are also said to be parasitic roots, wherein we have two types of root systems here based on whether the plant is a complete parasite or a partial parasite. Based on whether it is a complete parasite or partial parasite. Partial parasite. So here you observe, if it is a complete parasite, okay, complete parasite, wherein the roots will dwell into the xylem and phloem tissues of the preceding plant. Xylem and phloem of the preceding plant, these are the complete parasites, okay, which dwell into xylem and phloem tissues of the preceding plant. Best examples include Cuscuta and Rafflesia. Partial parasites will just grab the minerals from the preceding plant, from its xylem tissues. Okay, they will only dwell into the xylem tissues and gain the minerals, water and minerals. These are partial parasites. Best examples include Viscum and Striga. Clear? So this is about complete parasites and partial parasites, hostorial roots. Clear, right ma? Yeah. Now at last we have to recall the complete examples that are dealt. Okay. First, storage roots. If you see tap root system, we have what are the examples under the storage root modification ma? Under tap roots, carrot, turnip, and radish. Carrot, turnip and radish. Next, fibrous roots, what is the example? Asparagus. Clear, right? Next, adventitious roots, what is the example? Sweet potato, that is Apomia botatus. And then for mechanical support, for giving the mechanical support, prop roots or pillar roots, example is banyan tree. Just take a screenshot at the end from this slide ma. Complete root modifications with examples will be covered. Next, tilt roots. Best examples are monocots like sugarcane and maize. Hostorial roots, complete parasites or partial parasites. If it is complete parasite, examples are what ma? Cuscuta and Rafflesia. Partial parasites, examples Viscum and Shrika. Clear? And then photosynthetic roots or chlorophyllous roots, example Taeniophyllum. Velamen roots, epiphytes will have what? Velamen roots. Example is Vanda. And then for nitrogen fixation, we have nodular roots for the family of Fabacean members. Fabaceae or Leguminosae. Examples pea, bean. Okay. Next, respiratory roots or nematophores or breathing roots includes what ma? Includes mangrove plants or mangroves like Avicennia and Rhizophora. Okay, these are the complete set of examples for your root modifications. Complete set of examples are provided ma. You can take a screenshot of it. Yeah, I hope this is the clear image. Okay, take a screenshot of this. Just memorize this slide, then your answers will be done. Okay, you are on the safe end for root modifications. So today, from the concepts that we have discussed today, what is important? First is Science of Plants EAPCET PYQs. Based on that, you get what? Based on the analysis of EAPCET PYQs from that particular chapter, we can expect a multi-statement based questions, match the following question, assertion reason question. Okay, so you be clear on the eras, chronological orders, discoveries, developments, scopes, especially branches of botany. After which we have started morphology of flowering plants, where we have dealt today. What is important from that, what we have dealt today is regions of the plant is important, and how you have to fragment this chapter and learn. Most important thing is floral characters, that anyhow we will be starting in our next session. And then root modifications, okay, regions of roots and root modifications, without skipping. Just if you go through those two slides also important, enough. Okay, one is regions of the root and second is root modifications. If you go through these two slides also, it is enough. So clear, right ma, till here? Any doubt anywhere, you can drop a message in the chat box. I will be addressing all your doubts. So see you tomorrow. That's all for today's session. Thank you.